The Disappearance on the Appalachian Trail. Echoes of the Unexplained. The Appalachian Trail stretches more than 2,000 miles, a narrow ribbon of earth threading through 14 states. It is older than most highways, quieter than most towns, and indifferent to the people who walk it. To some, it is a pilgrimage. To others, an escape. And on rare occasions, it becomes something else entirely, a place where someone simply vanishes. This story begins without violence, without a scream, without a witness. It begins with a backpack left behind. On a cool morning in late autumn, a lone hiker signed into a trail register near a remote section of the Appalachian Trail. The entry was brief. A name, a date, a destination no more specific than northbound. It was unremarkable, exactly the kind of entry rangers see hundreds of times each season. That hiker never signed out. When friends raised concerns days later, authorities initially assumed the most common explanation: delay. Weather changes, an injury forcing a slow pace. On the Appalachian Trail, silence is not unusual. Cell service is inconsistent. Time stretches differently in the woods. But as days turned into weeks, the silence hardened into something else. Concern became unease. Search teams mobilized quietly at first. Rangers traced the hiker's last confirmed movements using shelter logs and second-hand accounts from other hikers. A couple remembered sharing a fire one evening. Another recalled passing someone matching the description near a ridgeline overlook. No one remembered anything alarming. No arguments. No signs of distress. No mention of a companion. Just a person walking into the trees. The search expanded. Dogs were brought in. Helicopters scanned dense forest canopies. Volunteers walked shoulder to shoulder through underbrush so thick it erased sound. They found nothing. No clothing. No footprints. No trace of a struggle. Then, miles from the last known location, they found the backpack. It was intact, carefully placed, food untouched, map folded neatly inside. It looked deliberate. Investigators faced a familiar but unsettling problem. The Appalachian Trail does not behave like a city street or a suburban neighborhood. Evidence decays quickly. Wind erases tracks. Rain rewrites the ground. Wildlife moves objects. Time itself works against certainty. But this scene raised questions. Why abandon essential gear? Why leave it so far off the expected route? And why was there no sign of injury nearby? There were no bloodstains. No torn fabric. No broken branches suggesting a fall. The trail offered nothing, and that absence became the loudest clue of all. As the weeks passed, theories began to circulate, first quietly among search teams, then more loudly in online hiking forums and local communities. The practical explanations came first. Disorientation, hypothermia, a fall into a ravine hidden by foliage. These things happen. The trail is unforgiving. Weather shifts rapidly at elevation. Even experienced hikers can make fatal mistakes. But experienced investigators noted inconsistencies. The terrain near the last known point was not especially hazardous. The weather during the window of disappearance had been stable, and the hiker was known to be prepared, experienced, cautious, familiar with wilderness protocols. Then there were the stranger details. Reports from other hikers began to surface, stories shared reluctantly, often prefaced with hesitation. Someone hearing footsteps behind them late at night, only to turn and find no one there. A feeling of being watched in stretches of forest where visibility dropped to a few feet. Shelter logs referencing uneasy nights or odd sounds without further explanation. None of it constituted evidence. But together, it created a pattern of discomfort. And discomfort has a way of shaping belief. Law enforcement avoided speculation, but privately, they acknowledged a growing concern. There was no clear narrative explaining how a person could disappear so completely. No known criminal activity was linked to the area. No suspicious individuals were identified. No signs pointed definitively toward foul play. And yet, the lack of answers did not feel neutral. It felt intentional. Some investigators questioned whether the backpack had been left as a signal or a misdirection. Others considered the possibility of voluntary disappearance, though family members strongly rejected the idea. There were no financial irregularities, no farewell messages, no history suggesting a desire to vanish. The person had planned to return. Everyone agreed on that. As months passed, the search slowed. Funding dwindled. Volunteers returned to their lives. The forest reclaimed the ground that had once been combed inch by inch. Officially, the case remained open. Unofficially, it joined a quiet category of investigations marked by a single phrase, "No further leads." But the story did not end. It lingered. Among long-distance hikers, the disappearance became part of trail lore. Not exaggerated, not dramatized, just mentioned in hushed tones around campfires. A cautionary tale stripped of spectacle. Someone went missing out there, people would say. No one knows what happened. The trail, after all, has memory, and it does not explain itself. Years later, a park ranger reviewing cold cases would note something troubling. The disappearance was not isolated. While rare, there were other instances. Individuals last seen on or near the Appalachian Trail, leaving behind partial belongings, with timelines that collapsed into uncertainty. No common suspect. No shared motive. Only geography. A long, quiet corridor of wilderness where human presence is temporary and vulnerability constant. Investigators resisted drawing connections. Correlation is not causation. Patterns can deceive. But the echoes remained. Today, the trail continues as it always has. Hikers arrive with dreams, burdens, and reasons known only to themselves. They sign the registers. They shoulder their packs. They walk north or south, trusting the map, trusting the path. Most return. A few do not. And when asked what happened to the hiker who disappeared that autumn, officials still offer the same careful response. There is no evidence of foul play. The investigation is ongoing. The wilderness is unpredictable, all of which may be true, and none of which explains the silence. Because somewhere along that trail, between the trees, beneath the leaves, beyond the reach of certainty, a story stopped being told. And the Appalachian Trail kept it.